Thank you, Riv. I'm joined by Apollo and Rush here after a 3-1 there. Apollo, I'm coming to you first. You guys are now guaranteed at least top 4 here in the spring split. As a team that was put together just this season, just this split, how does it feel to come away with this victory and know that you're finishing at least that high?
I mean, especially since we had like a pretty rocky mid-season, early season, it feels good to be top 4. I mean, I don't know if we expected it, but maybe towards like the end of the split, we're like, okay, we're feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty confident about ourselves. So yeah, I'd say in general, it feels good.
All right, and Rush, to you, something that's been really interesting to us is that you played Vi, Rek'Sai, Lee Sin, 3 champions over the 4 games. But most people think this is a tank meta, and you're playing these fighter junglers. Why are you, of all the junglers, finding success on those champions?
If I can dodge some skills with my mechanics, I don't need to play real pure tank jungler. With fighter jungler and some dodge, some skills, I can do damage and be tanky both.
All right, so you're relying on your mechanics. Yes. That's quite the gamble, but I like the confidence in being able to do that. And it talk to me, Apollo, about what that allows your team to do, because most other teams are getting pigeonholed into having to adapt to the tank meta, but having a jungler who has the confidence and the ability to execute on fighter junglers actually gives you guys somewhat of an edge in pick bans by still being able to go after champions like Lee Sin.
Well, I mean, I always tell Rush to go tank jungle or to pick up tank jungles, and he's like, no, I'm gonna play Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, and whatever he plays. But it's good. Like, I can always rely on Rush to do well, and I mean, he's gonna go aggressive, and it doesn't really matter what champion he plays. It's just like it's always gonna be aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And given that aggression, Rush, we talked to you about how you wanted to approach the best-of-5 format, and you said you wanted to take it one game at a time. How was your first best-of-5 experience? How did this go for you?
Actually, the first lose make us kind of feel bad or worrying about, oh, maybe we can lose. But it was still okay because we trusted ourselves and just focus on one game and one game. That was enough.
There it is. Did your coaches play a big role in that, in having the discussion after that loss and letting you refocus on the next game?
We thought even though we lost on the second match, we thought like we played better than them, but just unlucky on the Dragon fight. Kin played really well on the SP fees, so we thought that we can play again. So again, we will not lose.
You talk about individual skill, Apollo. I think people would universally agree that you are playing extraordinarily superior this split than the last time we saw you in the NALCS. What would you attribute your personal growth to between then and now? And then what is the next stage of your development? Where do you see yourself improving next?
Yeah, when I last played on Coast, I mean, there was like a lot of factors into why I didn't do so well, but it's just like, over time, like I just, got better. Like I just tried to work on what I needed to work on. Like I just got better at the game. And then as well as like having a good coach and having a good team, they helped me build myself as a better player as well.
We saw a lot of Sivir and Graves picks from you here. I mean, Graves has been a solid champion for you all season. Sivir, very highly prioritized here. Why is it specifically those 2 champions that you're leaning towards?
I don't know. Coach just wants me to play those champions.
All right, Coach said so, so I'm going to go for it.
I mean, like, Graves is obviously a good champion just because he's strong in the early mid-game and he's really easy. Like, he's really easy, right? So we just needed a champion that can be kind of like a lane bully, can be self-sustained, doesn't really need that much jungle pressure, and that's just what it was.
All right, finally, Rush, I want to ask you about TSM next week. You guys have gotten through this quarterfinals, but you're playing the #1 seed TSM next week. How do you feel about that matchup? You guys have a 1-1 head-to-head record going into that match.
I heard that the last split, RMQ lost against TSM in playoff for 2 and 3, isn't it? But I think single players are better than RMQ players, every position except for mid. So I think we can beat them at least 3-2.
All right, okay, looking for a good series going 3-2 all the way through that. Well, gentlemen, first I have to thank you very much for joining me on the desk and congratulate you on your victory. Very solid. Now, for some final thoughts on the series, let's check in with our guys on the caster desk.